Hey everybody, I'm Jackson.
And I'm Lauren.
And this is Who It At?
The Masked Singer Podcast.
Hey everybody!
And welcome back to
Who It At?
The Masked Singer Podcast. We just watched Season 4, Episode 4
Yes.
of
And
The Masked Singer.
I gotta tell you, Lauren, this might have been my favorite episode of the whole season so far.
I think that's fair. It was definitely the craziest reveal that we've had.
It was. That reveal was shocking for many reasons.
Yeah,
and
no one guessed it. I didn't even see anyone on YouTube guess it.
No,
it was out of nowhere.
Totally out of the blue, and we'll get to that. We'll get to that at the end, just in case for some reason you haven't watched the episode yet. For some reason,
in which
and you're
case,
listening to
what
this.
are you doing?
Yeah, why are you listening to us? Unless you just like us that much. In which case,
We appreciate
thanks.
it.
Appreciate you.
Also, if you do like us that much, you should check out our other podcast, The Green Light.
Good transition.
Yeah, it would
segue.
just be great if you checked it out. So we love it. It's kind of our passion project.
Please do that.
Anyway.
Also, follow us on all of our socials. They'll be in our description below.
Yeah.
And subscribe to us on Patreon, please. Money.
Please. No. But like, it's
No,
my
for
birthday
sure.
next week, as I've said on our other show.
Yes. It is
So
Lauren's
if
birthday
you
next
were
week.
to find the kindness in your hearts, you know, we will be making some bonus content for this, and there's already lots and lots of bonus content for The Green Light out there.
Especially if you like movies.
Yeah,
You'll like a lot of our
movies,
bonus content.
TV, stuff like that. You
Yeah,
can subscribe
for sure.
for as low as $1 a month.
Yeah.
Literally $12 a year. It's
That's
crazy.
wild.
Yeah.
Nothing. You can't get anything like that. Not in this day and age.
Right.
I'm
So
old.
anyway, we also have a YouTube channel.
Yes, we do.
It's called JNL Closet Pods. Has both of our shows on it. We're
Mm-hmm.
still working on getting some episodes up there, but we have a few of them from both of our shows
Yeah.
up right now.
Yep. Most of them from this, except the season 1 recap, which I just realized I need to put up because that's on me.
Yeah.
But all the other episodes from this podcast are up there, and most of our other episodes from the Green Line are up there. So, well, half. Half of our other episodes are up there.
Not half. There
All
are
right.
like 7.
Hey, calm down, ma'am, please. Don't out me like this live on tape. But, anywho, I think that's all we have as far as housekeeping stuff, right?
Yeah. Also, we would love it if you would rate and review
That's
us
not all
on
we
Apple
have.
Podcasts.
Yes.
So,
Let's talk about this real quick. The official Masked Singer podcast
What
with
is
Bow
this?
Wow.
What is
Why?
this?
First off, why?
you're already famous. You don't need to be plucked from obscurity.
Exactly. We do. We do need to be plucked from obscurity. So, please come on the podcast to discuss. We'd love to have you. But also, stop it.
Stop it.
Stop it. And don't support that show. I mean, I guess you can.
Whatever.
If
If you
you
wanna
listen to
listen
us
to it,
and then
I
that's
don't
fine.
care.
We like Bow Wow. I like Bow
Yeah, I
Wow.
like
I think
Bow
he's
Wow.
fun. I think he's charming. Whatever. But
But also, I do want to
Please keep
say,
listening to our show,
I
too.
looked at how many reviews they had so far. They only have 21 ratings, and we have 12. So if just a few of you listening to this would bump it up, we can become the official Masked Singer podcast. Because we'll have more Apple Podcast
let's get him.
ratings.
Let's get him.
Let's go for it.
Let's go, boys. Get him. Okay.
Anyway,
That's all we got.
I think that's all we
Housekeeping.
got. So,
Now we're sweeping that under the rug. And now on to just some notes about the show. Just some overall notes. I liked the theme this week of like the childhood stuff.
I liked it.
thought
I
it was
liked all
fun.
the little baby pictures.
The little baby pictures were nice, weren't they?
Nicole was adorable.
Yeah.
So was Ken.
Pretty much everyone had some amount of adorability.
Yeah, Robin would have been adorable if we didn't know he was going to grow up to be Robin.
Yeah, and it didn't have such an open shirt.
Yeah.
That shirt was open
For a child.
for a 12-year-old. But, you know, hey, whatever. It's hot in Cali, which I think is where he grew up, right? Because that's where
That's
where
right.
he and Bag met.
Yeah.
Bag being Brian Austin Green. Anywho, so yeah, I really liked that. I thought it was fun. I also wrote down inject who is that into my veins because I need that. I need a lifetime supply of who is that in my veins. Not just this show.
That's right. And
just
clearly
the
so do
idea
you
of
if you're
that.
listening.
Yes,
So.
true. So now, Nick Cannon outfit rating.
Of course.
Let's do that.
So this week he came out in a tux with a vest, so that was new.
The vest was new.
Yeah, and he also had this sparkly black and white cape that
Yeah.
had kind of zigzag stripes, gave me Charlie Brown vibes.
Yeah.
And also a mask that looked kind of like a bow tie. I couldn't see if there were eye holes.
I don't think there were eye holes.
I don't think there were eye holes.
So props to
He
you,
was
Nick
just walking
Cannon,
out there blind,
for that
so-
dexterity.
Yeah. And then of course the sparkly loafers.
Yes.
Of course.
A staple for Nick Cannon.
Yeah, I gave this one a 9 out of 10.
Really?
Yeah, I really like this one.
I would say the initial him walking out, that whole ensemble, I would give like a 8.25. Once he took it off, Like 6,
He
7.
had a vest.
It looked good. Like, he wears it well. It's just like, I'm not surprised by it. I want to be surprised. Shock me a little bit. That's why I had Baby Alien rated so high. Shock me. Throw me into a whirlwind.
How do you feel about
mind.
that rating, Jackson? Would you still rate it an S? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Anywho. So yeah, that's our Nick Cannon outfit rating of the week. For me, do better. From Lauren, you're fine, I guess. Nick.
Hey, that's
Nick,
a solid A-.
Yeah, sure, whatever. Okay, moving on. I had a couple other overall notes. So I guess I had realized this before, it just never hit me like it did this week. So at the beginning, when they had some of the contestants from this week sort of waiting in the hallway, I noticed the Group A costumes were hanging up in the back. First off, ominous. It's like just looming over them like...
They did a little bit about it, though.
Don't mess up.
They did a bit about it later in the show.
Yes, but they also had Popcorn's neck 12 feet long.
I mean, yeah.
Her neck was very long.
Again, they did that last season.
No, I agree that they did.
I definitely remember the costumes that weren't being used that episode being in the hallway.
It's my fault for not really taking it in before, but now that I've taken it in, a little creepy. But it's spooky season.
That would be like working on something with the Muppets and then just seeing them all like,
well, exactly.
Everywhere,
Kermit hanging up behind you on the cross. Our Kermit Jesus.
Kermit Jesus.
One and the same, some would say. But Kermit and Jesus.
Okay.
He's not. Kermit is probably not Jesus. Probably not.
Moving on.
Yeah, baby pictures were cute, I wrote down.
Before we commit any more blasphemy on this show.
True. Joel was back.
Yeah, Joel was
really
back.
Cool.
I really think they're just going to make him a judge in the show. It's only a matter of time.
I love Joel. I wrote down keep him on forever, please, because I want him to stay on forever.
Well, it's also, too, like, we need someone like Joel to pretend he hates being there.
Yeah.
Or maybe he does hate being there. I don't know. But it makes it fun, you know. It gives it a bit of that holy moly vibe.
Well, and I'm going to comment on that more later. The more unhinged nature that this show is starting to have just gives me life. And I'll talk about that in a couple of the...
Like when Jenny pulled out that shepherd's crook thing.
Well, exactly. And then just Ken's guesses where there's just so many different bits with that. Like they had last week, they had people falling asleep while that was happening. They had Baby Alien falling asleep this time.
Pretty good.
I just think the more and more unhinged that this show gets, the better it is.
I agree.
Because by very nature, this show is unhinged. Just thinking about it. So, I don't know. Masked Singer, keep going in the unhinged direction, and you'll have a happy Jackson Campbell. So, shall we
let's
dive?
Into the performances, yeah.
Yes. So, as you all know, we are going to go in order of the performances.
Except for the person who went out.
Yes.
Who you should already know, hopefully, if you have watched the show.
Pause this.
Go watch the show. Unless you just love spoilers. Unless that really just, gives you life.
And you're back. Okay, great. Welcome back, everyone, if you had to pause and watch the show. So, yes, we're going to begin with Serpent. And, Lauren, what did you think of Serpent's performance?
Oh, I am so sorry. I thought it was good. I did not like it as much as last week's.
Really?
It was a lot more gravelly this time. He sounded a little sick. But, he still sounded good.
I thought that was just, his voice. I thought it was just more gravel in his voice.
Last week it sounded very, pure.
It's a little smoother, sure.
And this week it sounded gravelly. And usually, if someone has a pure sound and then all of a sudden they sound gravelly, in my head that means they're sick.
Sure. I took this as this person might be coming more into their voice, might be... I
mean, they might have been just trying to show us something different, but it sounded kind of like a different person, to be honest.
Well, and it confirmed more of who I now think it is, so...
Whatever. I think the clues also lean more in the direction of who I think it is.
Well... We'll see. We'll duke it out in a second. But, yes, this performance gave me chills. I wrote down chills 2 times in caps.
I thought it was good.
There was one note where he just really hit it. And it's also partially because of who I think it is. I have a very big attachment to this person.
Yeah.
So,
well, if it's who we think it's, who Jackson thinks it is, we did meet him briefly.
Yes, exactly. So, I don't know. I love their performance. I think a performance by Serpent and the performance by Seahorse just solidified that if it's not Sun, Serpent, and Seahorse in the final 3, there has to be someone absolutely incredible in Group C in order to dethrone them.
I agree with that.
Because they're all three of them are so incredible. Some of the best singers we've had on this show ever.
Yeah, they're really stepping it up this season for sure.
They really are. They really are. So let's dive into the clues. Clues. Do you want me to read what they said and then you give some more of the visual things?
Sounds
okay, cool.
Good.
So, the second clue package starts off with a house with a 5 on the door, an American flag. Oh, wait. Nope, this is Crocodile. Sorry. Wrong one. Bleh. Okay, hold on. Baby, Seahorse, Whatchamacallit. Serpent. Second clue package starts off with him holding a croissant with a bacon on it, standing at an ATM where he gets a receipt for $2. I've taken an unorthodox path to get here. Starting out, I could barely make rent. He's shown a clothing store where there's a mannequin dressed as a doctor in the background. He said he sold clothes and did manual labor to make money. He's portrayed in a hard hat next to a sign that says electrical transformer. I had patience, but all I heard from the gatekeepers was no, no, no. And finally, a pink Cadillac and golden croissant trophy appear. Anything else to add there, Lauren?
Pink Cadillac. I didn't even think of that because that's like what they give to people who sell a lot of Mary Kay products.
Kay. Yeah.
I don't know if there's a connection there. Yeah, we talked about there were multiple croissants. He also kind of kneeled at one point and went, no, which made me think of both Sweeney Todd and Star Wars. What's the third prequel? Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith. Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know if there's any connection with that, but
sure. No, that's fair. That is, we have to take everything into account as we learn tonight.
Yes. So, yeah, with these
what do
clues,
you have a guess?
Okay, so first of all, I did feel like this solidified my guess of Taye Diggs just a little bit.
Sure.
Because there was the how am I going to make Rent thing. Obviously, Taye Diggs got his big break in Rent, which opened in the late 90s. Huge Broadway hit. That was definitely his big break. There was also a baby bottle with milk in it, and they thought maybe this was someone who did a Got Milk campaign, maybe someone with kids. Taye Diggs, I believe, did do a Got Milk campaign.
Yes.
And he does have, I don't know if he has any more kids, but he definitely has one kid with Idina Menzel, a boy named Walker.
Yeah.
Let me see. With the croissant, I thought maybe that was a reference to... The first thing I thought in my head was Junior's, which is a breakfast place that's very popular in New York. They have bagels, croissants, breakfast sandwiches, that kind of deal.
Could be.
I also know in Rent, there is a part at the end where not Taye Diggs' character, but another character breaks into an ATM. Like, because he's like a computer whiz kind of guy.
Sure.
And so I guess, like, rigs an ATM so that if you put in the code Angel, who is their friend who, spoiler, dies in Rent, you can get, like, a bunch of money out of it.
Sure.
So, anyway, so I don't know. Just a few things that link it to Rent. My only hesitation with Taye Diggs is that they did guess him this episode. Clearly Serpent is going to be around for a while.
Yeah.
So it would be a little fast. But I don't know. The doctor thing is a big thing because he was in Private Practice.
Yes.
The Rent thing is a big thing. I'm afraid it might be leaning too much into Taye Diggs, but at the same time, I don't feel like Taye Diggs is like that famous, like that mainstream famous.
I'd say he's like medium.
Yeah,
sure.
Well, it's like, because
once again, my mom knows who Taye Diggs is. Shout out, Mom.
Well, I mean, I just feel like
and she's not
you
a
would
big musical
either
person.
know him from musical theater or you would know him from Private Practice.
You probably wouldn't know the two together.
Yeah, because I had never even heard of Private Practice before we started looking up clues for Taye Diggs, to be honest.
Sure.
But I know him from musical theater stuff, and like he was in the Chicago movie and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I guess that's true. He also that. But so that's very solid. I think it's a very good chance that it is Taye Diggs. However, last week I was on the side of a Hamilton cast member, a little man known as Leslie Odom Jr., who has a great voice, and a lot of the clues led to Leslie. However, I'm pivoting. I'm taking not a hard pivot, I guess a soft pivot, to a different Hamilton cast member, a man by the name of Christopher Jackson. Christopher Jackson played George Washington in Hamilton, probably where most people would know him from.
Yeah, he also played Benny in the Heights.
He did play Benny in the Heights. And there was a quote last week that says he aspired to new heights. So, In the Heights, there we go. So Christopher Jackson, mostly a Broadway star. He has been in a few TV shows and things like that. He had a guest star on Nurse Jackie. So it could be the thing. Also, there have been multiple references to doctors. He actually has his doctorate it's something with music from Oglethorpe University. So It could, a lot of people would think traditional doctor. However, it could be a pivot to a different sort of doctor.
Sure.
Let's see. There is I don't know what the croissant would mean on the trophy, but he did win an Emmy for songwriting because he wrote a song for Sesame Street. Christopher Jackson, a multi-talented man as far as music goes.
Yeah.
Also, I've just been listening to a lot of Christopher Jackson lately. He has this album from like 2011 that is really good. And well, it is from 2011, so that's a long time ago. But the voice this week sounded much more like him than it did Leslie Odom Jr.
I agree.
I would say.
I don't think Leslie Odom Jr. has ever sounded like the Serpent sounded this week.
Yes.
I think we can, for the time being, toss Leslie Odom Jr. to the side for our Serpent guessing
for
right
sure.
now.
Once again, Leslie Odom Jr. is very talented, so maybe he's throwing his voice this episode.
I feel like I've heard him sing so much, and I've never heard him stray from that smooth, silky.
For sure.
And like, he already did that on The Masked Singer, so there's no reason he would try to disguise it at that point.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely. So some of the judges' guesses were Jenny guessed Taye Diggs, as Lauren does. Nicole guessed Brian McKnight, and I like the Brian McKnight guess, but Brian McKnight is like 6'5". He's
like
a giant.
A big guy.
Yeah, so I don't think that would do that. And then Joel guessed Jesse Williams from Grey's Anatomy, which once again, I would be impressed if it was him, because I don't think anyone's really heard him sing. So that would be kind of a cool little thing. But yep, so that's what we got for Serpent. Any other notes on our boy?
Nope.
Okay, Serpent, we love you. Can't wait to hear more of you.
Yay.
Alrighty, next up we have Crocodile.
Yeah.
What did you think of Crocodile's performance, Lauren?
I thought it was interesting. It was definitely a big pivot from last week. Last week he did a Bon Jovi song. This week he did Toxic by Britney Spears.
Yeah.
It was a lot of falsetto. I think the highlight of this performance was definitely the dancing as opposed to the singing. Like, the falsetto was interesting.
Yeah.
I think Robin said something about it being super stable, which I disagree a little bit with. I thought it was good, but it wasn't like the best falsetto I've ever heard.
Sure, it wasn't the best falsetto, but I think it
was impressive that he was singing as high as he was.
Yeah.
And like, I was definitely more impressed with the choreography. And I think what he was really trying to show was just that he could do something very, very different from last time.
A whole lot of range.
Yeah.
And yeah, so the second he started singing, I was like, this is someone from a boy band. He started singing, he started dancing.
We had already talked about how this is Nick Carter.
Well, sure.
Doubling down on Nick Carter.
And I think that's a fair guess and a very good guess. But yeah, I would say it's the biggest shift in performances we've ever seen.
Which is honestly crazy, because there's so many performers on here who I'm sure can do multiple things.
Yeah.
And it's just very odd to me that so few people choose to do multiple things.
I mean, I think it's like a fear thing, because what if you go out on a limb and then you have a bad performance and then you get off when you could have just stuck to your thing, gone further. I think it's either going to end up really catapulting Crocodile because people are going to appreciate. Well, it's hard though, isn't it? Because the people who are in the audience probably haven't seen previous performances, right?
You mean in terms of the voters?
Voting, yeah.
Well, I don't know, right? Because they have like the Masked Singer Superfan things on like Zoom right now. They don't have a real
good point
audience. So they have people tuning into Zoom to vote now, basically.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen any more casting calls for those, which makes me think that they probably kind of got their people.
Yeah.
And the same people are probably doing a lot of the episodes. So it's very possible that, you know, the same people have seen a lot of the performances.
And I think the judges still have like 50%.
The judges do have 50% of the vote.
So, like, you know, the judges could definitely appreciate this very multi-talented performer. And my original point was that could either hurt him because he could go out on a limb and it could be bad, kind of like what happened with Thingamajig, or it could be really good because they could appreciate that, and he might not have the most strong performances, but he could at least show sort of the most range out of anyone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I also think that if he had just done Toxic and not done any kind of choreography and his voice had sounded like that, I don't know if he would have made it this week. But because he did all kinds of dancing and it was great, you know, we were able to look past some of the small flaws.
He's definitely showing a lot of range, which is super nice. Okay.
So clues.
Okay. His second clue package starts off with a house with a 5 on the door, an American flag and pirate flag out front, and a pond with lily pads in the yard. Excuse me. Inside the house, there's an anchor, hairspray, a mirror ball, and a Crocodile Family Reunion 2014 photo are shown. He's then shown in the backyard surrounded by an orange tree and dead roses, as he said he used to stand in my backyard performing to each weed and rose petal. My own father didn't believe in my talent, he says, as a mustachioed crocodile is seen outside the house watching 30 Croc, probably a reference to 30 Rock. He says he later gave his first paycheck of $100 to his father, who cried actual crocodile tears and believed in me. A few years later, Shazam! My field of dreams became a field of reality. Tonight, I'm putting the toxic parts of my past behind me. Any more clues to add, Lauren?
Well,
what was the special? What was his extra thing?
Oh, it was the piñata with the dolphin. The dolphin's inside of the crocodile piñata.
True.
Yeah, so a lot of Florida things. We had oranges.
Yeah. Yeah, there were many.
There was a city at the end. We weren't quite sure which city it was, or if it was a specific, like, skyline.
True.
But yeah, Field of Dreams. There was a Hairspray, 30 Croc. I don't know. But it's just like I hear this and I'm like, it's a boy band. We talked about Nick Carter.
Also, I was looking...
Sounds like Nick Carter.
in re-looking at the clues, Crocodile Family Reunion 2014, the Backstreet Boys appeared via satellite on Good Morning America on March 14th, 2014 to announce to announce a tour. All Saints reunion coming with the Backstreet Boys.
Tar ya go.
Yes, there were a couple other ones that the Pirate Flag Buccaneer, once again a reference to Tampa Bay, where he moved to in his life.
Lots of Florida stuff, for sure.
Lots of Florida stuff.
The dolphin thing as well.
There was another one that I wanted to look up. 5 on the door. How many members of Backstreet Boys are there?
Was it 5? I thought it was either 4 or 5.
I thought it was 4. But it might be 5. Oh, no, there are 5.
Well...
it's really looking like
Nick Carter, especially because has anyone guessed him yet on the show?
No one has guessed him, to my knowledge. So
yeah, Nick Carter.
Yeah, it's. I think we're both sticking with Nick Carter.
Yeah,
I was thinking. Now, of course, a lot of the clues also lead to the Backstreet Boys, so it's like that would be hard. But what about Nick Carter's brother, Aaron Carter? Maybe they're trying to steer people into Nick Carter, whereas it could be Aaron Carter. Aaron Carter's known more for rapping.
Okay.
But who knows? Maybe he's got some pipes too.
Maybe.
I'm just throwing that out there.
You never know.
I definitely think it's probably Nick Carter, but I think it would be interesting if they pivoted away and sort of, but a bunch of the clues lead to Nick Carter. So I would be willing to bet it's probably Nick Carter.
Yeah.
But he did tour with the Backstreet Boys, so...
Well, maybe. You never know. And he said, Family 5, whatever, Yeah. It could be, or the family reunion, I guess.
Family reunion, yeah.
But, so it could be a family member of a Backstreet Boy.
Yeah, totally.
But, I think Nick Carter is probably our best bet for right now.
I think that's the best
especially since he hasn't been guessed.
Yeah. Good for you, Crocodile. I really enjoyed your performance.
Yeah.
It was pretty great. Okay, moving on to...
Whatchamacallit.
Yes, skipping over our... gone person.
Eliminee.
I couldn't eliminee.
Sure.
Let's talk about Whatchamacallit's performance, Lauren.
I like this one a lot better than last week.
I did too.
He was kind of on his flow. This one was just a lot of fun. We got to see the costume move a little bit. I had a great time. What are you laughing at?
The unicorns wearing Heelys.
Oh my gosh.
The inflatable unicorns wearing Heelys. This is exactly the unhinged nature of the show that we have come to love.
I don't know why everyone had an inflatable costume tonight, but I didn't hate it.
I dug it. It was appropriate for this one.
I didn't hate it.
It was appropriate for Baby Alien song, I think. And then... it was not appropriate for Seahorse's song, I will say.
Yeah.
Seahorse's
a little
emotional weird. Performance, and there's these freaking inflatable sharks in the background.
Octopus.
It's like, no, dumb. But yeah, the unicorns were really
for
funny.
It was really fun.
It was.
Well, and at one point he said something about something about your booty being distracting, and then the unicorns were kind of like shaking it. Unicorns. I just said unicorns. The unicorns were kind of shaking it in front of him. It was pretty good.
It was. When you're a rapper on this show, you have to have fun. You gotta make it fun. You have to make it, very infectiously fun. Because I feel like that's how Frog got by with his dancing, obviously, but also because he got the crowd into it. Mm-hmm. If you're gonna be a rapper on the show, it is harder, I feel like, for a lot of people to sort of respect some of the craft that goes into rapping. Like, I don't think people have as much of an understanding of, like, flow and stuff like that as opposed to just normal singing.
Yeah.
So I think when you do rap, you sort of have to add an extra element that maybe if you just sang, you didn't have.
Yeah.
And I think we didn't get that in Whatchamacallit's first performance, but we very much did in this performance.
Yeah, well, and honestly, going into this episode, we thought that Whatchamacallit was probably going to go home.
Yeah, we
but
did.
Then
we were
Whatchamacallit brought it. So we were like, oh, baby alien's in trouble.
Part of the reason why we made that Instagram post about my new guest for Whatchamacallit, because I was like, he's probably going home, man, and I want to get this out. But he did not. He did not. Okay. Let's talk about some clues. Let's talk about some clues. Shout out Ultimate Tag.
All right, so some things we saw right off the bat. There were some big Lorax kind of vibes. There were some trees that look very much like Truffula trees. You can go on the rest of the clues. I just want to talk about the music thing because that was mine.
Sure, that is a good call. He says he's free. He's seen on top of a dandelion with green airplanes flying towards him. A golden staircase and a purple house are seen in the background as he rides balloons like in the movie Up. He says at the height of his career, he was ready to dance like never before. Oh, I get that actually now too. But then he got a deflating phone call that his mom was in bad shape. I wanted to be by her side, but she wanted me to continue the ride. She made me realize my dream was her dream, so I pushed forward. And then it also features rainbows, a phone made out of a shoe, a blue mirror, and 5 10-cent coins.
Yeah. So, I also wanted to talk about, there was a point where they showed a piece of sheet music. Yes. And there was a treble clef, there was a staff, and there were 3 notes on it. I didn't catch it the first time. I had to go back and watch the clue package and pause it to see which notes they were. But they were actually all B. So there was the B that's on the 3rd line of the staff. There was a B that's, just below the staff, and then the B that's a little bit above the staff.
Yep.
So BBB. And that has something to do with Jackson's guess.
Big baller brand. Whatchamacallit's Lonzo Ball. Whatchamacallit, I actually am looking even more at the clues.
After this, looking at the clues,
Whatchamacallit is 100%. But once again, the BBB, there have been so many references to like 3 in here, and Lonzo Ball has 2 brothers, so 3 siblings. There is the one. At first, I didn't get this one. At the height of his career, he was ready to dance like never before, but then he got a phone call that his mom was in bad shape. So the NCAA tournament is known as the Big Dance. That's what they call it. And so around that time, his mom got sick. What did I say his mom?
She had a stroke.
She had a stroke. So that perfectly fits with that. Big Dance. Phone made out of a shoe, I guess it could be just a reference to just the shoe line that they have.
Maybe.
Yeah, and if you didn't hear some of our other... If you don't follow us on Instagram, first off, shame on you. Second off, there's a bunch of clues from last week that we sort of pieced together. Once again, shout out to my dad for putting the kernel in my mind and letting it grow into a big piece of popcorn. So there was, his career had a magical start. He was drafted by Magic Johnson to the Lakers. People think he's shy because he lets others absorb his spotlight. His dad has very much been absorbing his spotlight. There's a Panther shown, which is another reference to his dad because his dad was on the Carolina Panthers practice squad for a brief amount of time. Shout out Panthers, go Panthers. There's a lot of stuff on the clock makes sense. The number 2 is shown, which is his jersey number. The Shrimp, he plays for the New Orleans Pelicans now, and Shrimp is big in New Orleans. There's a bear. He went to UCLA. Bruins bear is their mascot. A triangle on it, once again, I feel like is another reference to just the 3. So, there we go. Lonzo Ball. I'm locking it in. I'm pretty confident in that one as well.
Yeah, I feel like
I think that
actually
might be my most confident I am in one, actually.
Aside from maybe Missy Elliott, having not seen her at
having
all.
Having not seen anything about her. God, it's not going to be Missy Elliott. It's not going to sound like Missy Elliott at all. I can't wait for it.
I think it will. I
hope it does.
It's a good guess.
I would to snipe that from the beginning would be the most impressive thing I've done.
Well, also Leanne Rhymes is also our very locked-in guess.
Oh, well, that's true. That's true. But
we don't even think about that one because we were like, it's Leanne Rhymes.
Yeah, and also, I kind of did a little deducing of my own for Whatchamacallit after the kernel was dropped in the head from my father, so I'm more proud of this one rather than just, looking, fair. So, yeah, Whatchamacallit, Lonzo Ball, and he and his family are the exact kind of people who would be on the show, I think. Yeah. I think he would definitely be down. He also does have, a inkling of a rap career, so, it all adds up. It makes sense. So, Whatchamacallit, welcome to the Masked Singer, Lonzo Ball.
Yay.
And I'm excited to see Whatchamacallit next. I'm excited
to see him again.
Yeah, it should be good.
I do think it'll be hard because Seahorse and Serpent are definitely not going home.
Yes.
In the Group B final, so it'll be hard to see if it's going to be Whatchamacallit or Croc.
Yeah, I do think he's probably getting out next, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it'll be cool to at least get one more performance from him. It'll be fun. So.
All right.
Seahorse.
Seahorse, this was definitely the best performance of the night. I got goosebumps.
It was.
So good.
It was. I love Serpent's performance personally, but I think objectively this was the best performance of the night, for sure.
So she did My Heart Will Go On, and at the beginning I was like, well, because it kind of showed her belting this at the beginning of the episode, so I knew it was coming. But she, she was kind of whisper singing. She was definitely leading up to it, and then, they did the little key change, and she did the other chorus, and I was like, it was so good!
I really liked the way she structured her performance, actually.
Yeah, no, there was so much build to it. It was really good. The only thing that took away were the sharks.
I wrote down these inflatables are unhinged, because they were. Absolutely unhinged. And for the most part, once again, I love that about The Masked Singer. It didn't really distract. It distracted at the very beginning, because I was like, what?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
There was also an octopus, but you could also see the person's legs underneath all the octopus legs.
I don't know what is going on this season with just the dancers' costumes, but they're horrendous.
Okay. No, maybe
they're absolutely horrendous.
Maybe they think that having them all in the inflatable costumes, they'll be like, oh, if you sneeze, it won't get on anybody.
What? I wonder. That's actually not a bad reason for why they have the inflatables, though.
Well, because it's basically a full body mask.
Yeah, they've had
nothing's getting in and out of
or
there.
they've had morph suits. Right?
Well, and they've had morph suits a lot in the past, but we've really seen the inflatables this season.
Other times they've had people with open faces, and I don't think they've had that once this season.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Good call, Lauren. Good call.
COVID.
Look at her. I'm looking at her right now. No one else can see her. But yeah, so performance was absolutely incredible. Love the performance.
So
love.
Wow.
Oh, by the way, we missed a couple of the judges' guesses on the previous ones.
Oh,
so I'm
yeah.
going to go back and talk about those if you're done talking about the performances of Seahorse.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So for Crocodile, the judges guessed Lenny Kravitz, Adam Lambert, and Harry Connick Jr. I don't think any of those are right. Another thing that I wanted to say for Crocodile that I missed. Sorry, folks, we're zooming back. But our housemate Blake said a really funny thing, and I just want to bring it up. He said, because the performances sounded so different, he said, what if this is actually just one boy band? Just switching off members of going in for Crocodile, and I thought that was so funny, and I would love that. What if it was just all the Backstreet Boys just switching in and out?
I feel like it might be cheating just a little bit, but I would love it anyway. It
definitely would be, but that would be perfect for this season. Once again, so unhinged. So that would be great.
We got somebody with a puppet. We got something with two heads.
Yeah.
You never know.
Whatchamacallit, the judges guessed Terrell Owens, Cam Newton, and Armie Hammer.
Definitely not Cam Newton.
It's definitely not Armie Hammer.
Armie Hammer either.
Cam, it's also not Cam. I'm a huge Cam Newton fan. Huge. Yeah. Obviously a Carolina.
He's literally sitting
Panther.
on a Carolina Panthers seat cushion that I made him
that today. Lauren just made me for our upcoming anniversary. Yay. Shout out Lauren. It'll be 6 years.
Yeah.
For us.
Crazy.
Wow. Gross. Anyways. So yeah, I know Cam a lot, and
you know him
personally? Yes, we're good friends. Well, and I've been texting him, so it's not him,
like Jesse LaFleur.
But yes, no one knows who that is.
That's a guy from Ultimate Tag.
Yes,
he has a text thing you can subscribe to.
That person, yes, I did text Jesse. But yeah, Cam, while I think he would do this, that doesn't really sound like him. So
yeah, well, and he's also has COVID right now. Yes. I mean, and granted, this was recorded weeks ago, but he was also playing football. So
yeah, true. He's been a little busy, I would say. So let's talk about some clues for
Seahorse.
So
let me see. When it first showed her before they even went into the clue package, she was holding a shrimp cocktail.
She was.
I don't know if that's going to come up. I just wanted to mention it because I figured it might not be in the thing that you had.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Her second clue package starts off with her on a wagon that has a crossed out broken smile symbol on it. She shows up to the Under the Sea Saloon and Rodeo that has a Place Your Bet sign out front. I'm a bit tame in my normal life, she says, but when I stepped into this costume, my inner diva Seahorse Fierce comes alive. The men in black are wearing Daisy Duke shorts. A clown with a fail sign, a bull, a green light, a broken heart sign that says a dream is a wish your heart makes, and clocks with wings that are set to 9 o'clock all show up in the second package. When she was young, she acted like a hero and wanted to make a name for herself. Heartbroken, she says. I posted up in my room for what felt like 1,000 years, spilling my soul onto the page. Like many people lately, she says she's experienced unimaginable loss and pain.
I just want you to look up something real quick. Can you just look up Tori Kelly Cinderella?
Sure.
I forgot to look that up.
Sure.
Okay, so because there
Tipping
was...
your hand a little bit there.
Okay, well, in the at the very end of the clue package, I believe it was in a fish tank. That was where they had the 5 clocks, and there was also a heart that said, "A dream is a wish your heart makes," and it was broken. "A dream is a wish your heart makes" is "A dream is a wish your heart makes." It's from the Disney Cinderella movie. That's like a line from the song. I'm sure that's also just a famous quote in general, but it is specifically from that song. So I don't know if there's a connection there at all.
I mean,
maybe she was Cinderella at Disney once. I don't know.
Other artists contributed. She contributed to some songs to a Disney album. But she didn't do that one specifically.
Vague,
yeah.
Well, I mean, not even that one specifically, but like even anything with the live action Cinderella. I don't know.
Let's see what she did.
Well, in any case, if you haven't guessed by now, my guess is
Colors
Tori
of
Kelly.
the Wind.
Oh, that's from Pocahontas.
It is.
But yeah, but I mean, honestly, purely just from vocal sound, especially from this performance, I think it sounds like Tori Kelly, because Tori Kelly can do that, even when she belts, it still sounds a little bit mixy. It still sounds a little bit bright. And that's definitely what Tori Kelly sounds like to me. Because she can do that really, really sky-high belt. But it still always sounds very, very healthy. Which is, what this sounded like, what Tori Kelly sounds like. If you haven't heard her sing Don't You Worry About a Thing and Hallelujah from Sing... the movie Sing. I really haven't heard anything else Tori Kelly's done, but even just from those 2 songs, I feel like you can hear the full range of everything she's done so far on The Masked Singer in those 2 songs.
Yeah.
So I think it is Tori Kelly.
Sweet.
Anyway, there was also something that said Just Keep Swimming, which could just be the fact that she's an underwater creature, but
or
also
connection
could have
to
something to do with
Finding
Nemo, potentially someone who was in Finding Dory.
Yeah.
As opposed to Finding Nemo, like, I don't know who played the, what was it? Was it a whale? Dory's friend?
I don't know.
I think it was a whale.
Haven't seen that in a while.
Anyway, there was also, the childhood clue was a feather, and I don't know, I tried to look it up if there is a connection between Tori Kelly and feather, but I looked up Tori Kelly feather, and there were all these people on, like, Redbubble and stuff who had designed, like, t-shirts and stickers and all of this stuff that was like Tori Kelly Black Feather, and I don't know what that is. I couldn't figure out if it was a title of her song, one of her songs. I don't think it is. I don't know if it's like a bit from a concert or like some niche thing that only her big fans would know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. But it just seems like there is some kind of feather connection with her.
Yeah.
So, not sure what that is. Maybe she has a feather tattoo. I don't know.
Maybe. Very, very possible. So, some of the judges' guesses were BB Rexa, Camila Cabello, and who I now am hopping on the train with, Jessica Simpson. And obviously, there was the Daisy Dukes clue, which is very obvious, so I don't know if it is going to be Jessica Simpson.
And they already guessed Jessica Simpson. I think they even guessed her last time. And Seahorse is going to be on.
I don't think they guessed Jessica Simpson last time.
They did. They definitely guessed her for other people, but I thought they definitely guessed her for Seahorse.
Last week the first time they did Halsey, Haley Steinfeld, and BB Rexa.
Oh, never mind.
Robin doubled down on the BB Rexa this time. Yeah. But yeah, I like Jessica Simpson. She's from Texas, so a lot of the southern clues make sense. The Daisy Dukes, obviously. The feathers, she has a clothing line, and she has some shoes that has feathers on them. Yeah. It's all a bit of a stretch. We also don't know what
the childhood clue, like, link to feathers is, though.
Is the childhood thing?
That was the childhood clue, yeah.
Her child... Oh, I guess that's true.
That was, they popped a balloon, and there were feathers in it.
But does that mean it's from their childhood?
I don't know. I thought that was what it meant.
I don't know. All right, Nick. Light as a feather, heavy on clues. This should help you not confuse. It rhymes, too, which is interesting.
Yeah. Well, I thought a lot of them did.
Did they?
I don't know. But, I don't know. I think it's Tori Kelly.
Yeah, I mean, Tori Kelly's definitely a good guess.
I also don't know what the broken smile, broken teeth thing was.
I don't know. This one is tough because a lot of the clues, even with Tori Kelly, like I did a little bit of research on her and I couldn't find a ton of that made sense. Especially there are so many southern clues, and Tori Kelly's from California.
Yeah.
Southern/Western clues.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I was thinking of
has Tori Kelly
what's that one
been
song?
in anything?
Look for the girl with the broken smile. Someone who was in a music video for that.
Wants to stay a while and she will. Hell yeah.
Okay. Anyway, put us on the Masked Singer, Fox.
Give it to us.
No, but...
Give it to us.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have any sound reasoning for it being Tori Kelly, to be honest. I just think vocally it really sounds like Tori Kelly.
Sure. I mean, and that makes sense.
That's
a lot of people are speculating that it is Tori Kelly.
Yeah.
So,
a lot of people are speculating about Jessica Simpson, too.
Yeah, true. But
I could see it.
Who knows? She was on Star Search.
Interesting.
But I don't think
that was one of the ones that we thought was Star Search.
It wasn't. What if it turns out to be Emily Blunt? How crazy would that be?
That would be really crazy. At this point, that would be really crazy.
Yeah, it sure would.
Okay, so now we should probably talk about the person who...
Oh, duh. I forgot. I was like, all right, that's it. Bye-bye.
No. We should probably talk about our person who went home this week.
So let's talk about the performance first, before we talk about who it is.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Okay, I thought it was fine.
It was fine. It was charming.
It was charming. I think it's crazy that they keep guessing Jeff Dunham because this is not someone who is a professional puppeteer.
Yeah. I am gonna say, if Baby Alien was on a different season, they would have gone further.
I agree.
They definitely would have gone further.
I agree. And it is kind of crazy that such a unique costume was given to someone who maybe was not going to go so far, especially in this season.
He's saying It's Time by Imagine Dragons, by the way. Good song. I like the song. So, can we talk about who it is?
Yeah.
Baby Alien was former NFL quarterback Mark Sanchez?
Yeah.
What?
No one guessed it. What? Not the judges. I didn't even see anybody on YouTube guessing this.
Yeah.
That was insane.
And it makes sense because none of the clues really pointed to football. And I think that was smart that they did that.
Yeah, because otherwise we would have... I mean, we didn't even think it was an athlete.
Exactly. No one thought it was an athlete. There were a lot of comedian-type clues.
We thought maybe voice actor Kim Clark.
Yeah, and especially because they were doing like this European accent.
Yeah, we were like, oh, maybe they're a voice actor. Maybe they do weird stuff like this all the time.
Yeah, it was, but no, it was Marcus Sanchez.
So I will say, because I was dead set on this being someone that had something to do with Philadelphia, he did play for the Eagles.
He did. Yeah.
So that's our Philadelphia thing.
Yeah. There was the Tonys clue. He was a guest presenter at the Tonys at one point.
Wild.
Which is super obscure, yeah. So, like, no one would have guessed that. I don't know what the Ninja Turtle clue is. It's just wild.
Yeah.
Wild.
Crazy.
And I don't even know what a lot of these clues mean, to be honest. Like, I don't know a ton about Mark Sanchez. I know him a little bit as a quarterback. He went to USC in college. He was a good college quarterback. He was a fine NFL quarterback, not too great, unfortunately. He's very famous for having actually a really awful play, but the butt fumble, if you know, you know. But yeah, so Mark Sanchez, though, I will say, biggest surprise I think we've had in a while.
Yeah. No, it's just like, this was not even a guess that was out there somewhere in the ether. Yeah. Like, this was just not... Yeah. No one knew that this was going to be Mark Sanchez.
And, you know, granted,
so good on you for disguising yourself, I guess.
Seriously. And, you know, granted, I am not the biggest purveyor of YouTube comments sections for guesses, just because I like to sort of figure it out on my own, yada yada. But, you know, on other ones, it's hard not to see, because it's like first comment that shows up, it's like this person, and it's like, oh, that kind of makes sense. But yeah, no one was guessing this for Baby Alien. Really good. Props to Mark Sanchez for going on doing it. Once again, someone who has a child and was like, yeah, I'm doing it for my kid. And it's like, that's cute. That's nice.
That's cute. You know, I respect it.
And not to get sentimental here, but I think that's kind of one of the great things about The Masked Singer is that it can appeal to such a wide audience.
No, I agree.
Kids love it because there's fun costumes, you know, fun songs, people dance around, and then
inflatable unicorns with Heelys.
The Heelys. Oh gosh. But yeah, and then people like us can enjoy it because, you know, we like guessing celebrities, we like the competition aspect of it.
Yeah.
It's a great show.
It's a great show.
Love you, Masked Singer.
Best show on television.
Love you, Masked Singer.
Logging it in.
Yeah, I am inclined to agree with you, Lauren. But yeah, so that was season 4, episode 4 of The Masked Singer.
Yeah, so we actually would you mind looking up right now if it's confirmed that we won't have episodes next week? Or the week after that? Yeah, so we have a couple ideas for what we think we might do if The Masked Singer does not happen for a couple weeks due to the World Series.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So we had thought about maybe doing a tier list type episode, potentially even a 2-part tier episode of taking either some or all of the contestants from previous seasons and basically doing an ultimate who would win out of all of these people on The Masked Singer.
Yeah.
Not a tier list, sorry, a bracket. That's what I meant to say.
Put them up against each other, randomizing their places in the bracket. It is.
So yeah, I mean, if you want to weigh in on what you think we should do, or
or if you have any ideas for us, we'd definitely be open to whatever y'all are wanting, because obviously, you know, we're sort of in this for what y'all want. I can't tell, but to my knowledge, the World Series does start next week, so I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't have an episode.
It's probably at least 1 week, which is sad because my birthday is on Wednesday, so no Masked Singer.
Sad. But yeah, so if you have any ideas for extra episodes, let us know.
Yeah, but I mean, if we don't hear anything, we'll probably do a bracket. We had thought about potentially doing a live voting thing, but, you know, we do want to see if there's, like, enough interest for that.
Yeah.
So
we don't
if
want
not,
it to be
we
us
might just
and, like,
take
my
a vote
dad.
of,
Shout
like...
out Dad, but...
I mean, then again, we could potentially do more of, like, a social media vote.
A social media poll, for sure.
Yeah, where it was more of, like, I don't know... I mean, I guess it could just be on Twitter, or we could be like this if you vote for this person, or something on Instagram.
Totally.
I don't know. Whatever we decide to do, we'll try to involve you guys, and hopefully we'll come out with something really fun. So make sure to come back next week, even if there is not an episode of The Masked Singer.
Whether The Masked Singer is on or not, we will be on.
We're
always on. That's us. Any final thoughts on this episode, Lauren, or for what's to come?
It was great. I cannot wait to see more of Seahorse.
Me too.
I can't wait to see Seahorse and Sun in the finals.
Yeah, true. And Serpent. All three are most likely going to be in finals. And it's also really cool that we still have a whole other batch of contestants that we haven't even met.
Seen it.
It's really exciting, I think, and I'm
exciting. I wish we would have seen them already, but I'm still excited to have something completely unknown to come.
Something to look forward to. Yeah. Alrighty.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Yeah, we're gonna edit this and slap it on its booty, have it out for you very soon.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Stay safe, folks.
Stay safe.
And that was our episode of
The Masked Singer podcast. That was a transition.
Yeah.